about all that Diddy has done for the culture?
They asked me about Puff, and I answered it as honestly as I knew how to answer.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing more explosive allegations in a bombshell lawsuit.
For over a year, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has faced an escalating series of allegations that threaten to dismantle his legacy and redefine his role in the music industry. The claims of sex trafficking, coercion, and abuse have painted a troubling picture of one of hip-hop's most iconic figures. What began as a singular lawsuit has snowballed into a far-reaching investigation, uncovering a labyrinth of alleged misconduct and systemic exploitation that could irreversibly tarnish Diddy's reputation and influence. The wave of allegations began in late 2023 when Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, widely known as Cassie, filed a lawsuit accusing him of coercive and abusive behavior throughout their 10-year relationship. Cassie's accusations were specific and harrowing, detailing instances of physical abuse, forced sexual acts, and psychological manipulation. Her lawsuit, filed under a New York law allowing victims of sexual offenses to bypass the statute of limitations, marked a turning point for Diddy's public and legal standing. He has categorically denied these claims, labeling them as false and defamatory, but the ripple effects of her allegations have been profound. Cassie's lawsuit acted as a catalyst, inspiring others to come forward with similar stories. Federal authorities soon launched investigations into Diddy's alleged activities, leading to raids on his residences in Los Angeles and Miami. These operations, conducted by Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, reportedly uncovered evidence supporting allegations of sex trafficking, racketeering, and coercion. Diddy, in response, has decried the raids as excessive and baseless, dismissing them as part of a witch hunt. His legal team has argued that the actions of law enforcement were unnecessarily aggressive, pointing to his willingness to cooperate with authorities as evidence of his innocence. However, the mounting legal and public pressure has continued to build, complicating his efforts to clear his name. Among the most alarming allegations are claims that Diddy orchestrated drug-fueled sex parties, referred to as freak-offs, where attendees were subjected to non-consensual acts and exploitation. Federal prosecutors have drawn parallels between Diddy's alleged behavior and the actions of other disgraced figures like R. Kelly, who faced similar charges of systemic abuse and trafficking. These comparisons have intensified the scrutiny on Diddy's case, suggesting that his activities were part of a larger pattern of power abuse and exploitation. Evidence collected during the raids, coupled with testimonies from former employees and associates, has painted a damning picture of an environment rife with coercion and manipulation. Cassie's lawsuit and the subsequent federal investigations have also sparked significant public debate. The allegations have been a focal point of media coverage, prompting discussions about accountability and justice in the entertainment industry. Nick Cannon, a close associate of Diddy, addressed the controversy in an episode of his podcast, reflecting on his personal relationship with Diddy and the difficulty of reconciling the allegations with his past experiences. "It's complicated," Cannon said. "You care for the person, but you can't condone the behavior." His comments echoed the sentiments of many who have struggled to navigate the moral and emotional complexities of the case. Adding to Diddy's legal troubles, a former executive assistant, Philip Pines, has filed a bombshell lawsuit alleging that he was coerced into organizing Wild King Nights, events characterized by heavy drug use and sexual exploitation. Pines' lawsuit describes a work environment that was both toxic and degrading. He claims that his responsibilities included setting up Diddy's personal spaces with explicit materials and cleaning up after these events, removing evidence such as condoms, drugs, and bodily fluids. Pines also alleges that he was forced to scrub Diddy's personal devices of incriminating footage, further compounding his trauma. Pines' allegations align closely with the broader narrative presented by federal prosecutors. Mauricio Padilla, a legal commentator and defense attorney, noted that Pines' testimony could prove pivotal in the case. If these allegations are true, they strengthen the prosecution's argument that Diddy's activities were part of an orchestrated pattern, Padilla said. Pines' insider perspective adds credibility to the claims. The lawsuit's timing and content suggest that it may serve as a critical component of the ongoing federal investigation, potentially providing prosecutors with key evidence and corroboration. One of the most damning pieces of evidence in the federal investigation is surveillance footage from 2016, which allegedly shows Diddy violently confronting Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel. Although this footage falls outside the statute of limitations for state charges, it has become a significant element of the federal case. Prosecutors are reportedly building a RICO case against Diddy, utilizing evidence that mirrors the allegations made by Cassie and other accusers. The parallels between these incidents suggest a consistent pattern of behavior, further undermining Diddy's defense. The controversy deepened with revelations that an investigator from the Bureau of Prisons allegedly seized and photographed notes from Diddy's jail cell. These notes, reportedly containing privileged information about his defense strategy, have become a flashpoint in the legal battle. Diddy's attorneys have accused the prosecution of misconduct, arguing that the seizure of these notes constitutes a violation of his constitutional rights. However, a federal judge has largely sided with the prosecution, allowing the contested evidence to remain in play and denying Diddy's repeated requests for bail. Public sentiment has shifted dramatically as the case has unfolded. While some of Diddy's loyal supporters continue to defend him, the growing volume and consistency of the allegations have made it increasingly difficult to dismiss them as opportunistic or baseless. Social media platforms have become a battleground of opinions, with some users expressing outrage and disbelief, while others highlight the importance of due process. The court of public opinion, however, appears to be leaning heavily against Diddy, with each new revelation further eroding his credibility. The implications of this case extend far beyond Diddy's personal fate. It has sparked broader conversations about the abuse of power in the entertainment industry and the systemic failures that allow such behavior to persist. The allegations against Diddy have become a symbol of the industry's darker underbelly, prompting calls for greater accountability and reform. For many, this case represents an opportunity to address long-standing issues of exploitation and inequity in the music world. The allegations have also prompted renewed scrutiny of Diddy's past relationships and professional dealings. Former employees and collaborators have come forward with stories of intimidation, manipulation, and misconduct, adding further weight to the claims against him. These accounts paint a portrait of a man who used his wealth and influence to maintain control over those around him, often at their expense. Diddy's legal team has continued to mount a defense, arguing that the allegations are part of a coordinated effort to tarnish his reputation. They have pointed to inconsistencies in some of the testimonies and suggested that financial motives may be driving some of the accusers. Despite these efforts, the sheer volume of evidence and the consistency of the accounts have made it increasingly difficult to counter the narrative being built against him. As the trial date approaches, the stakes for Diddy have never been higher. The prosecution is expected to present a comprehensive case, drawing on extensive evidence gathered through raids, witness testimonies, and the controversial notes seized from his cell. Legal analysts believe that the weight of the evidence against Diddy leaves little room for a viable defense, and his chances of acquittal appear slim. The outcome of this case could have far-reaching implications, not only for Diddy but also for the broader entertainment industry, as it grapples with the consequences of systemic abuse and exploitation. For Diddy, the road ahead is fraught with uncertainty. His once celebrated empire, built over decades, now stands on the brink of collapse. The allegations have irrevocably altered the public's perception of him, transforming a figure once hailed as a pioneer in hip-hop into a symbol of systemic abuse and unchecked power. Whether he can salvage any part of his legacy remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The allegations against Sean Diddy Combs have reshaped the narrative of his life and career in ways that will resonate for years to come. Moreover, the case serves as a stark reminder of the power dynamics that have long plagued the entertainment industry. It highlights the urgent need for systemic change to protect individuals from exploitation and to hold those in positions of power accountable for their actions. As the trial unfolds, it will undoubtedly continue to spark conversations about justice, accountability, and the cultural shifts needed to address these deeply rooted issues. For now, the world watches as Sean Diddy Combs faces the most significant challenge of his career: one that could redefine not only his legacy, but also the broader landscape of the music industry.